Today marks the 1 month of Iran's strike on Israel to avenge the killing of the Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah and Hamas political head Ismail Haniyeh. Now, Israeli intelligence suggests Iran is preparing to attack Israel from Iraqi territory in the coming days, possibly before the US presidential elections on November 5th. Sources have told WION that Iran's foreign minister will lead Iran's outreach to neighboring countries in person ahead of the Iranian response to Israel. He is expected to embark as early as starting next week. Israel and Iran have been engaged in escalating tit-for-tat response for a while now. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that the country will be able to reach anywhere in Iran should the need arise. Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Commander Hossein Salami said that Israel made a mistake when it attacked Iran last week and stressed that Iran's response will be quote-unquote different from any scenario Israel might expect. For the latest, our colleague Anas Malik is now joining us live from Tehran. Anas, you are in the thick of things from where you can get us the latest on this development. Do give us the latest that you have there.
Well, Isha, I'm standing at the Inqilab Square or the Revolution Square, and this, what you see behind me, the billboard that you see behind me, I'll just get a sight for the benefit of our viewers. And what it reads in Farsi, it says, Agar jang mein khwahid, ma ustad jangin, which literally translates that if you want to fight, we are experts in fighting, or we are experts in fighting. So, and it says the same in Hebrew as well. And with a picture of the Iranian strikes on Israel that took place earlier this month. So this is subtle messaging being done at the city center by the Iranian side, by the Iranian government. What we know is that at the highest level, there has been an agreement with regards to having an Iranian response in response to the Israeli attack, what the Iranian side classifies it as an act of aggression. And in these regards, the Irani foreign minister will be doing an outreach to neighboring countries starting as early as next week, Sunday or Monday. And this will be an in-person outreach where he will be taking countries of the region and neighboring countries into the loop ahead of the Iranian response. Now, this also says that that pushes the Iranian response to Israel slightly far back after the US elections and not around the US elections. That is a given. Today marks 1 month of the Iranian attack on Israel. It took place on the 1st of October, and exactly a week since Israel attacked Iran. Today, where I'm standing not far from here, will be the Friday procession, the main Friday procession, and it will be interesting to see as to what the mood on the ground would like be once the Friday procession or Friday prayer procession gets underway. On the part of Tehran, they say that they are prepared as ever and that they have deployed countermeasures in case of a response that Israel might be undertaking. Billboards like these and others have been put across the city in a bid to show the Iranian government's resolve and messaging both to the public here and to the audience abroad. Isha?
Anas, you spoke about the Iranian response and it possibly getting pushed to after the US elections. How important is this timeline? How does this play out in the retaliation of it all?
Well, it is really important for Tehran because they have a new government. Remember, Dr. Pezeshkian just came into power this July, and at his confirmation on the 31st of July is when we saw the first bit of escalation, how the Iranian side classifies attacks, where we saw the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh not far from where I'm standing at the Sadabad Palace. Now, that was the first bit of escalation that Iran says. The second bit, of course, was with regards to the assassination of Hezbollah commanders in Lebanon. So Iran, on its part, says that there is a red line that has been crossed, and it is imperative for them to respond, because in case if they do not respond, then this government, which is a reformist government, will be seen as a weaker government. That is why Iran has decided first, it responded on the 1st of October, exactly a month ago. Then we saw that Israeli response, and now in response to the Israeli response is when Iran says that it has in principle decided to respond, but when? But before the response, it's what it wants to take the regional countries into the loop, and the reason we're seeing the Abbas Araghchi visit to neighboring countries starting as early as the coming Monday in some hours from now, where he will be reaching out to capitals and taking them into confidence ahead of the Iranian response. Isha?
Could you give us more details about this outreach of the regional countries that you speak of?
Well, what we know that they're holding these cards very close to their chest right now, the Iranian side. What we have been confirmed by sources within the Iranian Foreign Ministry is that this will be a regional outreach, which includes all countries, all brotherly countries, quote unquote, or friendly countries. The names of the countries have not been specified. Remember, the Iranian foreign minister has been holding telephone conversations with different counterparts in the region, including a telephone conversation with the Saudi foreign minister held very recently, just this past Wednesday. So in that context, one should not be surprised that he ends up being in Riyadh or in Jeddah for an in-person consultation, or an incoming visit from Riyadh to Tehran, where I am. At this point of time, as I said, we do not exactly have the specifics of the countries that he will be visiting, but broadly what we have been told and we have learned from credible sources is that this will be an outreach to neighboring and regional countries. Isha?
A supposed alliance with Saudi, as you mentioned, as the phone call indicates, how does this play out? Because within the region, Saudi Arabia and Iran are sort of, they are a part of the Brotherhood, of course. But then so far, Saudi Arabia has maintained very close ties with the United States and allies.
Well, at this point of time, Tehran sees Saudi as not as its adversary. Courtesy the intervention by China earlier this year and how the ties have panned out, there is no adversary, and in fact, it is more seen as a partner, especially in context of the rising tensions in the Middle East and the Saudi position on that. So Iran has not really seen Riyadh as an adversary, which is a silver lining in this relationship. And it is, of course, using the Saudi-US connection in order to convey messages to Israel through Saudi Arabia to the US and US to Israel. But again, it remains to be seen as to what a proportionate Iranian response are we looking at to Israel. Are we looking at something very similar to what it is here? It is shown here, the pictures that depict the Iranian response to Israel from the 1st of October. If it's something similar to this, then of course it will not be an easy ride out. So it remains to be seen as to what exactly is the Iranian side planning when it comes to their response, and then only their relationship or ties or their partnerships with regional countries, including that of Saudi Arabia, will be determined based on the very response that they are planning. Isha?
Thank you so much, Anas, for joining us with the latest on that. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.